It's time for Community Matters on Y101. Today's show is brought to you by these great sponsors: Appling Healthcare in Baxley, Vidalia Federal in Vidalia and Lyons, Johnson & Johnson Transport in Uvalde, and by Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton. Now, let's talk about what's happening in our community with your host, Tony Doc Wardlaw.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back. Welcome to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, the Doc, Tony Wardlaw, and we are here on another beautiful Wednesday morning. I'm telling you, God just keeps on giving us these beautiful Wednesday mornings. And we're so happy to have you with us on this edition of Community Matters because our community does matter. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are blessed this morning to have two beautiful ladies. I'm seeing doubles this morning. We have the beautiful Miss McKaylee Randolph and her mother, Stacy Randolph, and I'm telling you, they look like twins.
Everybody tends to say it, but I don't know that I quite see it a lot of the time.
Well, take it from us. I mean, you guys look like doubles. I had to check, make sure my wife didn't put anything in my drink this morning. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, McKaylee Randolph, if you don't know, she is the lady behind the stories that many of us read every week in the Advance. And so we want to talk to you about that. A few weeks ago we had Miss Stephanie Williams, who's with the Toombs County Magazine, and we got to get inside her head and see how she comes up with all of these stories. And she normally writes the stories, and it was different for her being interviewed. And so we got another one.
Oh, yeah, it's weird being on this side of it completely. Mm-hmm. I always joke, I don't think a lot of people know my voice. They know my writing voice, but they don't know my actual, I guess you can say, my verbal voice.
Uh-huh. So. Well, we've got a lot going on in our community, and so we're blessed to have you to help capture that from week to week. Tell us, how do you go about your week and preparing from week to week? How do you get your stories?
Well, it's definitely a process. There's always, regular meetings. There's always board meetings, things like that, and that's just a given that you go to it and you cover it. But we have what we call features, and features are, these stories that they may not be the hard news, I guess you can call it, but it's, about people in the community and just what they're doing, and that's actually what my favorite stories to do.
Right.
And a lot of times they come to us, either we hear about it on Facebook or,
Facebook.
Oh, yeah, Facebook, when there's a wreck or anything like that, a lot of times I find it on Facebook before I find it on, through the dispatch, and it's crazy, Really, we just have 10,000, amateur reporters out there. That's their goal. They want to let everybody know. But yeah, so, and a lot of times people send me story ideas.
Oh, is that right?
They will reach out and they will say, hey, this thing is happening. It's really cool. And I always think that's awesome because I love working with the community. I love being able to do things like that. So that really excites me when people, they want to take part and be like, hey, here's this story idea. Can we do this together?
So it sounds like you have somewhat of some autonomy to do these different stories.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of decision, on our behalf, what to do. And a lot of times when I see these stories, and it's very rare I say no, because I think every story is worth telling. Everybody has a story that's worth telling. So.
Excellent. So you've been with the newspaper now you're about to celebrate an anniversary.
Yes, I have been there for a year. I have.
Oh, wow.
Officially got my first year under my belt, and I can definitely say it's been an adventure. So my favorite thing so far that I've done, though, by far, is the Onion Festival. That was
right?
So much fun, especially getting to be out there with the Blue Angels and everything like that. They're nothing better.
This would have been the first one you did as a writer.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it was a learning experience. You learn a lot about, what's important to tell, what's not. But just seeing the excitement that, it brings to build up to it and everything.
Yeah.
And then to be there to capture the pictures and to capture the stories of, one of my favorite stories we told was that somebody made a wreath and they gave it to the Blue Angels and it flew in Fat Albert.
Oh, wow.
And so getting to tell the stories like that's awesome.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Well, you talked about people giving you stories. How would one go about letting you know that, hey, you know what, McKaylee, I have a story that you might want?
Okay, so they can always call the advance office and ask for me. It's 912-537-3131.
Okay.
They also are free to call me on my cell phone. It's 912.
That's the work cell, right?
Yes, it's 912-253-1447.
Okay.
And I also get it through emails, and it's mrandolph, RANDOLPH, advance@gmail.com.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So they can the number that you gave, that's not the number for Mine Online, is it?
No. Don't worry.
That's our favorite section of the newspaper, isn't it?
It's most people's. It's definitely fun to go in each week and hear what people have to say.
Oh my goodness! I imagine you can't print everything you hear.
No. There has to be a little bit of discretion.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, whose idea was that?
I actually think it was Mr. Ledford that first on the paper.
Okay.
I think he wanted to have an outlet where people could, share their thoughts.
There.
And yeah.
And they do.
Oh,
man.
they do. They use it as a vent for sure. So.
Well, we're proud of you, and we're excited to have you. You came here a few months ago, and you did a big write-up on the radio station.
Oh yeah.
And did you get any good feedback? Was that like your #1 bestseller?
Oh, of course. No, but I definitely did. A lot of people said that they remembered WBBT from all throughout the years, and that they really enjoyed getting to know the history and the people, that it's still going, So definitely was a cool thing to get to do and everything.
Well, a lot of people don't know you, McKaylee, but you were born and raised right here in Toombs County.
I am a graduate from Robert Toombs Christian Academy.
Okay, go Crusaders.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I've always been here. I went to Georgia Southern for college, but I commuted, so I still stayed here. I was teaching dance in Montgomery County and Toombs County, so I've always been around. It's home.
So you know how to make your way around the city and make sure you get the stories that really
definitely. And I've built a lot of connections here that have enabled me to do that too. I've gotten to meet a lot of cool people.
Excellent. Well, you got one cool person in the studio with you who happens to look just like you. And Miss Stacy Randolph, you have seen her writing. You've spent time with her from the time she was born. What are your thoughts?
I would first like to take a little bit of credit because I read a lot to her.
Okay, of course. You got to toot your own horn.
No, I'm very proud of her. Sometimes when I read her writings, I'm still kind of blown away that she writes as well as she does, and within minutes. Sometimes she sits down and within minutes. And so it's something that comes naturally for her. So her dad and I are very proud of her. The only thing I'm kind of trying to fine-tune the speaking side, because that's a whole different side that needs a little polishing. So,
right.
but we're working on it.
Well, this is this is one of the few times you get to do as much talking, isn't it?
It is, and it's much more stressful than it is on the paper.
And it's well spoken like a true mom to give you that, constructive criticism.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I appreciate it always. There's always something we can work on. So
that is so excellent. Well, the two of you are making a good team. Thanks, Mom, for polishing her up and all you've contributed. You do have something else the two of you are working on, and we want to talk about that when we come back, namely the Altamaha Down Syndrome Society.
Yes.
And it's something that the two of you are working on as partners.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Well, we'll take a break here, and after we come back from the break, everybody just stay with us, because when we come back, we want to talk about the Altamaha Down Syndrome Society and everything that has gone into it right after these messages.
The picture of health. Would you like to improve your energy? How about getting better sleep? It can start with a simple test. Find out how you can start feeling better with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Schedule an appointment with Matt Hodges, family nurse practitioner, Appling Healthcare certified biotech provider. The biotech method of pellet therapy can improve your energy, sleep, weight, and libido. Call 912-367-4122 and start feeling better today.
We don't need a calendar to tell us that summer is here. Just go outside and you'll know it's getting hot, hot, hot. This is Anthony J. with Todd Patchett Housing Center, and we're inviting you to beat the heat in one of our beautiful homes from Cavalier, Clayton, Deer Valley, Live Oak, Scott Build, or Southern Energy Homes. We build all of our homes a lot more energy efficient than they would have normally come. So stop by Todd Patchett Housing Center in Claxton, Georgia, and pick out your energy savings dream home from our massive selection. Todd Patchett Housing Center. All your housing solutions under one roof.
Welcome back to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, the Doc, Tony Wardlaw, and you've been listening to two lookalikes. I just can't get over it, you know. And they say they can't see it, but you've got to be able to even hear it coming across the radio waves. They laugh alike and everything. All right, so we've been talking with McKaylee Randolph, who is the lady behind a lot of our stories in the Advanced Progress, but we also have in the studio with us her mother, Stacy Randolph, and they have a new initiative that they are working on that is very worthwhile for us to talk about, which is the Altamaha Down Syndrome Society. So, Miss Stacy, can you kind of tell us what it's about and how it came to be?
The Altamaha Down Syndrome Society is a nonprofit charitable organization that about a year ago was founded just simply because when I had my daughter 7 years ago, I was completely in the dark. She kind of came at 40 when, of course, I was not looking for another child. But also she came kind of with a lot of questions. And I know that happens a lot of times with parents when they're given a diagnosis. It's very clinical. It's just you're handed a piece of paper and it kind of, this is what you have. Wow. And I know the way that I received it wasn't very well, and I just really want resources for other parents so that they're not given the same, results that I was given. So I wanted a charity so that it would serve a lot of purposes, so that when these parents were given these diagnoses, that maybe the doctor's offices would have resources that they could give, such as parents that could say, hey, this isn't a diagnosis. This is a child that's going to bring you a lot of joy and love. That there will be challenges, but there's a lot of other things that are going to come along with it. And we'll kind of help you along the way and give you some ideas if you need them. Wow. And also, you know, there's some places that I would like to take my child that I don't take her simply because I'm not really sure how she's going to respond and react. So if I could maybe rent that place, such as the movies. Let me rent the movies. Let all the kids go and let us make some modifications. If we have to leave the lights halfway on, if we turn the volume down, excuse me, little modifications so that our kids can also be a part of activities that the typical children are able to enjoy. These are the things that I would like to see happen for the special needs community, not just for my child and children with Down syndrome, but for all the children, such as, you know, autism. I know someone Fragile X, just the different diagnosis and things. I don't want them to be diagnosis. I want them to be children. And I want others to see them as that. So I want to unite the community with the special needs community and just see that we're not as different as you think.
Excellent. Well, this sounds like you put in a lot of thought and looks like you've done a lot of research. How long has it been in the making?
Well, I started probably thinking about it maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I've actually been part of the Low Country Down Syndrome Society since my daughter was just a few months old. But that's in Savannah, and they offer a lot of resources, and they're great. And they are great with what they offer. They have buddy camps and different things, but that's a long ways. And I was noticing that we have a lot of kids in our area and the surrounding counties, and some of them may not be able to travel to Savannah for these services. So I started thinking we really need something here.
So you're thinking to bring some of those resources that are in the more urban areas, bringing them here to our area.
Yes, and try to provide services that the kids in our area would benefit from.
Wow.
So kind of using that as a model and guide, because I really do think that they have great services. That's why I was a part of it for so long. But I started thinking a few years ago, that'd be great if we could have this here, but it's kind of scary to think of doing something like that on your own. What if no one shows up? What if no one wants to help? What if you can't get, what if it just flops? So it took me a little while to really do it, but I've consulted, and there's another parent, Lindsay White. She was participating in a service kind of like the Low Country Down Syndrome Society in South Georgia, and it was kind of the same thing. She was going to South Georgia and participating.
Same thing.
So she and I discussed things, and we decided we needed to do something here for our children. So that's how it came about.
Excellent. So the Altamaha Down Syndrome Society, is there like a date or an event that's happening? Is there a way for others to join into the society?
Oh, definitely. We are actually having our first, I guess you can say, community outreach. It is going to be a buddy walk in Mount Vernon, Georgia. It'll start at the Montgomery County Courthouse, and you'll walk a mile, and then there'll be a little grassy area with some festivities and some vendors and all. And that's going to be going on October 1st.
October the 1st.
From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay. October the 1st, which is a Saturday.
Yes.
And it will start at 10 a.m.
Yes.
And you'll do just a 1 mile walk?
Yes.
That's not too far.
No, it's not too bad.
It's kind of a short, fun, slow-paced walk, because we understand our children are not going to be able to go any further than that. And we are still looking for some vendors if you want to be a vendor in it, or a sponsor. We're looking for sponsors for it, or if you just want to sign up to walk.
Excellent.
We're looking for all of that right now.
So this will be your first major event?
Yes.
Wow. Huge undertaking.
Oh, yes. It's also the first event that Mount Vernon will have had since, I think it was 2018.
Yes.
Oh, my
when the
goodness.
Hog Wild was last. So we're excited to bring that kind of environment and the community back together there, too.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. So there in Mount Vernon at the, where will it start?
The Montgomery County Courthouse.
At the courthouse, and then you'll walk for about a mile or so. And,
It's kind of like just a little block. We'll walk like a block.
and this is open to the public?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's $15 to register. You get a T-shirt, and the $15 goes towards the charity to kind of help with a lot of the activities like she talked about. But everybody is included. Everybody is invited. We're very excited just to bring the community together and to show our little saying that we're going with, since it's October, is differences aren't so spooky. So we're just trying to show that,
Excellent.
just because we're different and just because these individuals may not be, exactly like everyone else, they're just as loving and amazing as everyone else.
In fact, your daughter, Brantley Grace, she is special. You had her in a special way, too, didn't you?
She came in the front seat of the car on Mother's Day morning.
Wow. That's not waiting around, is it?
No. She's special in a lot of ways.
See that? That is excellent. Well, do you have a website?
We do. We can be found on Facebook at the Altamaha Down Syndrome Society.
Okay.
We also can be contacted through email, and it's altamahadss@gmail.com. And there's all the information is on the Facebook about the event and about us and what we do. We usually post every day, multiple times a day. So there's lots of information out there about, our heart behind everything. And
Excellent. So, one more question. Brantley Grace, what grade is she in now?
She is in first grade.
All righty. She's moving right along.
She is, and she, as a parent, you're always kind of nervous and scared of how she's going to be received and if she's going to be rejected and everything, but she's a little superstar at her school. All the children know her, they love her, and we've been very blessed.
That's excellent. This is great to hear, and a great cause. Thank you all for coming in and sharing.
Thank you for having us.
And again, that will be October the 1st at 10 o'clock a.m. This will be the first event for the Altamaha Down Syndrome Society. Please go and follow them, and let us all join hands and be a part of this great event. I'm excited to finally be wrapping up the morning. I've been seeing doubles all morning. What a wonderful day. Thank you all again. McKaylee, Stacy, thank you all for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of Community Matters, and we want to thank you for being a part of us week to week. We thank Scott Crabb for running the boards for us on this morning and his morning show, letting us interrupt his morning show. Always we thank Dorothy Davis for her work on the website. Please, if you want to get all of this information, the emails, the phone numbers, go to tcbbroadcasting.com. That's tcbbroadcasting.com, and you can watch this interview, and you can actually see what I'm talking about with the doubles. We're always thankful for Robin, also for being Robin Watson, for our general manager. This, again, has been Community Matters. I'm your host, The Doc. Come back again on next week. We'll do this all over. God bless you, and have a good day.
You've been listening to Community Matters, a service of TCB Broadcasting. Today's show was brought to you by Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton, Johnson & Johnson Transport in Uvalde, Vidalia Federal in Vidalia and Lyons, and by Appling Healthcare in Baxley. Tune in next week at 8:15 during Y101's live morning show for another special guest. We'll talk about what's happening right here in our hometown. Community Matters is a service of TCB Broadcasting on Country Legends.